Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tuesday edition of Video Clips, which is brought to you by Wellness Forum Health, the Wellness Forum Institute, and Make Americans Free Again. Couple announcements before we get into the news. The Healthy Happy Boot Camp is coming up soon. 6 weeks, class every day for 4 days a week for 6 weeks. And so, bottom line, you will get 6 yoga classes, 6 workouts, like strength training workouts, 6 cooking classes with recipes, and 6 health lectures. It's only $195 for members. Non-members a little bit more, but maybe you should join so you can start getting member prices on stuff. That would not be a bad idea, right? So anyway, bottom line, this will maybe help some of you form the daily habit of paying attention to health. That's one of my objectives in offering it. Plus, we just have such a great staff of people ready to share great information with you. And so anyway, Healthy Happy You Boot Camp, and that starts on the week of September 15th. And then how to care for and feed your brain, your skin, your mouth, your esophagus, stomach. We're going to start from the head to the toes and talk about each organ and how what you eat and drink affects those organs and how to protect all your body parts. That one is $199 for members and $299 for non-members. And by the way, I've received a couple of emails from you. You can still register for the Diet and Lifestyle Intervention course, which is on Wednesday night. You can watch the recording of last week's class and join. So if you had been thinking about it and thought the time had passed, I've already given a couple of people permission to do that and join us a little bit later. So if you'd like to do that, my email address is pampopper@wellnessforum.com. All right, so here's I have all good news today. Some bad, but mostly good news. All right, so according to an article posted on Medscape, a significant number of physicians are using diet and lifestyle interventions instead of pharmacology with obese patients. One of the reasons they say that they're doing this is an examination of real-world data concerning the use of drugs like GLP-1 medications. For example, a Cleveland Clinic study of 7,881 obese patients showed that there were huge gaps between what the clinical trials showed and what the actual practice outcomes were. Over half of the patients discontinued the drugs within a year, and 20% in 3 months, 32% within 3 and 12 months. Weight loss results were really not so good. Patients who stopped the drugs early achieved a 3.6% weight loss, while those who discontinued later lost 6.8%. Patients who continued on beyond that lost an average of 11.9% of their body weight. But those who continued and maintained high doses lost 13.7%, not that much more with semaglutide and 18% with tirzepatide. Now, I want to put these results in perspective. This is not from the article, but my own commentary here. A 275-pound woman who continued to take high doses of weight loss drugs would have lost just under 33 pounds with semaglutide and just under 50 pounds with tirzepatide. She would remain obese with all of the risk factors associated with that obesity, including a high risk of cancer, and she would still be subject to the potential side effects of the GLP-1 drugs, some of which are life-threatening, which she would continue to be taking. So when those doctors said there was a difference between the sparkling results of the clinical trials versus what happens in real life, I hope that my illustration drives that point home. According to Dexter Sherney, MD, this is back to the article. He says lifestyle medicine has a much broader clinical application than single medications or surgical interventions, which are typically designed to treat one condition at a time and come with multiple side effects. Lifestyle interventions work well to effectively avoid the polypharmacy issues that many patients often face. He cites dramatic results achievable with intensive lifestyle programs, and we've seen the same thing, and my colleagues have written about it for decades now. Quote, when starting a patient on a rigorous lifestyle medicine program for type 2 diabetes, it is often necessary to reduce their insulin dose by half within days to avoid hypoglycemia. 50% reduction in just a few days. I have routinely seen average drops in cholesterol of 20 to 50% within 7 to 8 weeks. That's just one of the doctors who was quoted in the article. Elizabeth Slaughter, MD, also focuses on lifestyle changes and says that the cost of the drugs is a major factor. Patients often can't afford the long-term treatment, and it's very clear that long-term treatment is required to make any progress at all. In fact, the Cleveland Clinic study showed that one of the big reasons why people dropped out was the expense. They just couldn't afford to do it. Dr. Sherney says that perverse incentives are a problem too. First, there is almost no reimbursement for lifestyle interventions. You guys have heard me talk about that in the past. It's one of the reasons your doctors aren't talking to you about this stuff. He says, quote, it's much easier to prescribe a medication and receive the quality prize for checking the drug adherence box than to prescribe lifestyle and not receive a similar financial reward. So we're rewarding all the wrong things, like prescribing GLP-1 medications and not helping people change their diet and lifestyle habits. Well, you've probably heard that if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is too good to be true. Taking drugs or injections, hoping to solve a problem that's caused by poor diet lifestyle habits that developed and were practiced over a really long period of time sounds wonderful to some. It's like magic. But there is no magic in health. Most of the people taking GLP-1 drugs have been trying to avoid the hard work of changing their lives for a long time. In other words, they don't want to exercise and go to the gym. And some of them claim that they're doing it, and I'm sure that they think that they are. But every day we take in new members who think they've been doing a lot of right things and they're frustrated and they find out how off kilter their diet really was, and that starvation doesn't help with weight loss, and that you can't walk at a 1 mile per hour pace and lose weight, and etc. So anyway, trying to skate and go around the work it takes to change things in a productive way is and doing it again and again is the real definition of insanity. And one thing I'll mention, I started a program called Winner's Circle last year. I think we're on the fourth group that's gone through this program. It's a change your life program with the assumption that if something's out of kilter, everything's out of kilter. You can't just change one little piece of your life. And I've been just delighted with the results of course, weight loss, of course, changed eating habits, but more than that, changed lives, which is why the eating habits and the exercise habits are changing too. In other words, you can't do this where everything in your life stays the same and you think you're going to just reform this little corner of it. And that's terrifying to people. And I understand that. But once you get the hang of it, it starts to be exciting to people. Oh my gosh, what else can I do? So if you want some more information about this, the next class series starts September 18th. I'd be happy to talk to you about it too. So send me an email at pampopper@wellnessforum.com. Member events coming up August. We're going to have basics of autism. September, glow from the inside out, how you can look better, hair, skin, etc., by taking good care of your inside. And then in November, Dr. Mila is going to come back and do a member workshop on how to improve your vision naturally. And none of these, you can't buy your way in. You got to be a member. So this would be a really good time to think about joining Wellness Forum if you're not a member. Now, I have a second really happy thing to share. I love this. In the basement of Boston Medical Center is something that you don't expect to find in a hospital. It's called the Preventive Food Pantry. The pantry opened in 2001 in response to doctors who were concerned about patients not having enough food for their families. It's been incredibly successful. It was initially expected that they would serve about 500 patients a month, and now they're serving over 6,200. Healthcare providers make referrals to the pantry and they indicate if there's a therapeutic diet needed for conditions like kidney disease or hypertension. Patients can come up to 2 times a month and leave with enough food to last the entire household for 3 to 4 days. But the best thing of all, and why I thought this was so darn great, is the focus on fresh ingredients. Half of the items available are perishable. Some of the produce is about as local as you can get it. It's actually grown on a farm on the hospital's roof. Of the 5 to 6,000 pounds of vegetables harvested there every year, 70% are distributed through the pantry. The program also collaborates with the hospital's teaching kitchen, where dietitians, chefs lead classes on how to prepare healthy meals. The idea is catching on at other hospitals as well. The Revere Healthcare Center of Massachusetts General opened a pantry specializing in plant-based foods in 2020. So little by little, things do get better, encouraging, but the best way to speed this up, in my opinion, remains blanketing the country with food over medicine clubs. If we had these in every little neighborhood and burg, we could collectively change America's diets and make it easy and fun for people to do as they collaborate with each other to do it. So maybe you'd like to start a food over medicine club. So if you'd like to send me an email at pampopper@msn.com. And last thing I'll mention, our food bars are flying out of the building, and we can make them as fast as they fly out. That took a little bit of doing, but my people in the kitchen are pretty genius and they figure stuff out. And so if you haven't tried them, you should. They're remarkable and they're filling and they're really nutritious. There's nothing bad in them. The whole foods, just a little bit of tocopherol for making sure that in this hot weather they don't mold or develop problems. But just whole food bars, filling and really, really, really good. So if you haven't tried them, you should. And you can order those by calling our office at 614-841-7700. All right, that's it for today. As usual, pass this on to anybody who you think would enjoy learning from me, and I will be back to you on Thursday with more news. Thank you so much for watching.